ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of Rank the Movies! I am Martin Prevost, and as always, I am here to curate you through the ranking of movies. We are still working on Franchise Month. Last week we talked about Psycho and its remake, Psycho. This year we're going into my second all-time favorite movie, and the movie it was remade from. It's also based on a great book by Agatha Christie. We're talking about 1974's Murder on the Orient Express, and 2017's Murder on the Orient Express. Kenneth Branagh is in the 2017 version, Albert Finley in the 1974 version, and they're both playing the same role of Hercule Poirot. And I know I'm going to butcher his name, so let's just kind of roll through this as much as we can. So, obviously, I pointed out the 2017 version, that is my second favorite movie of all time, right behind Gremlins 2. So, it's hard to say and to go, I love that movie. I think that movie does the book very well. It still makes some changes, as most movies based on books do. They take the liberties. I like the liberties it takes a little more than the original. I think it hurt. I watched the original second. So, I didn't watch the 1974 version and then go into a theater in 2017 and go, this is amazing! I went to a theater in 2017, this is amazing, and then tried to go back and watch the 1974 version. I think that did hurt, because I think the 1974 version does offer a lot of spectacle that I don't think is otherwise available. That you probably appreciated a lot more back then. The movie does have a great cast in it. I mean, you've got Sean Connery, you've got Anthony Perkins, you've got Martin Balsam, Ingrid Bergman is in it. I feel like Mimi Rogers is in it. I was kind of taking a look at the poster and reading it sideways, which you didn't really need to know I was doing. But anyway, it's got a great cast, and they do a good job. Of course, the 2017 has a great cast as well. Penelope Cruz, Willem Dafoe, Johnny Depp, Josh Gad, Michelle Pfeiffer, Daisy Ridley. They all do fantastic jobs in that movie as well. Overall, I like the 2017 version. I think it's at a better pace. I think it adapts the story better. And I think it really holds your attention. The 1974 version, to be perfectly honest, I wasn't a fan of Albert Finley's portrayal of Poirot. I think it wasn't that great. I don't think he was that strong, and I just didn't like. I didn't accept his version of that character, and that's the problem. I've read Agatha Christie's books. I've read a lot of the Poirot novels, and every time you hear a voice when doing it, I've even read a couple before. I went and saw Murder on the Orient Express, and you hear a voice, and I think Kenneth Branagh, for me, capitalized that voice more than when I watched the 1974 version. I'm not saying the 1974 version is bad. I'm not saying it's awful and you should never watch it. I'm just saying, if you're going to pick one of these movies, pick the 2017 version. I think it's good. I think it's crisp. I can't wait to see their take on Death on the Nile when that comes out, hopefully later this year, but it might be next year. I also know Albert Finley did do a version of that movie as well. He has a version of that book. I haven't seen his version of Death on the Nile, so I can't comment on it, but I'm excited for it. Overall, again, 2017, I like it. I like the ending of the movie. It kind of has this great little send-up to the famous Last Supper painting, where it's all the suspects sitting at the Jesus table, and they're kind of in the spots roughly where their characters would be if they were who was in the painting. Whereas the 1974 version, the entire ending with the whodunit and the revelations all taking place in a car on the train, so it's a very cramped space. It's a very long take too. It is a huge revelation when you find out who actually killed Cassetti. I haven't actually talked about the plot of Murder on the Orient Express. I've just been speaking about, I just assume people know. Murder on the Orient Express It is about a detective named Hercule Poirot who finds himself on the Orient Express. He is called to ride. He has to take the train at the last minute, and actually takes over a compartment that was supposed to be taken by somebody else. The train is fully booked in the dead of winter, which is thought of as weird because generally trains are not booked heavily in winter. On their second night of their journey, one of the passengers, named Ratchet, is found stabbed many times, dead in his cabin, and Poirot is talked into figuring out who killed them before they reach the next station. In the film version, he's primarily talked into it, or the 2017 version, because there are minorities on the train who will most likely be convicted of the crime for no greater reason than they are a minority. Poirot takes the case, and upon looking into it, finds out Ratchet is actually a gangster named Cassetti, who is involved in the kidnap and murder of a very famous baby. It's based on the Lindbergh kidnapping. And Murder on the Orient Express, the 1974 version, is way more direct with its connection to the Lindbergh kidnapping. And you find out various characters on the train are connected to that kidnapping. But yeah, the 1974 version is way more like explicit in the opening, because it is almost like how the news reports say the Lindbergh kidnapping happened. It's kind of how it builds itself. It also takes those connections a step farther by showing a bunch of the characters who are connected, which, spoiler alert, is all the characters except Poirot and Book, and the Doctor, who is the Doctor in the original, the Doctor in the remake. It gets wrapped into another one of the characters. But anyways, they're the only ones who don't know that, who aren't connected, and the 1974 version kind of shows the backsides or side profiles of these people during those events of the kidnapping. It's an interesting take, but again, I prefer the 2017 version. So, hit me up in the comments if you have your own opinion. Maybe Albert Finley you think is the better Poirot. I strongly disagree, but that is your right to have an opinion. Hit me up in the comments, subscribe, like the video if you want to make sure you see more. Next time, we're continuing Remakeathon with another one of my favorite movies. We're going to be taking a look at a Roger Corman classic. I know we just did The Little Shop of Horrors, but Roger Corman has so many classics. We're going to look at Death Race 2000 and its counterpart, Death Race. You should check it out.